Merry Christmas everyone, and welcome back to another video in our How to Decorate series. Today I am decorating this gorgeous wreath and it is in our sugar plum theme. So let's get started. I've nipped to my local British garden centre and I have picked up everything that I need to create the perfect wreath. And today I have gone for the sugar plum theme, which is all your pinks and peaches. So you will need a wreath base, of course. You've got lots of different ones to choose from. I've gone for a plain green one, but you could go for a frosted one. There are some that come pre-lit as well, but I'm going to be adding my own lights today, so I've just got a plain one. You will then, of course, need your lights. So I've gone for 2 sets of lights and then I'll decide when I start decorating my wreath which one works better. You will need some baubles. I think it's always nice to add baubles to your wreath. So I've got some fern Christmas baubles and then I've got some smaller ones as well. And I thought a trio of these attached to the wreath would look really pretty. And then to fill out your wreath, you will need some foliage. So I've gone for some flowers and fern leaves, again in that lovely pink, dusky pink colour. Floristry is also really great for wreaths, so I've gone for these lovely flowers. They come closed up and then you fluff them yourself and they come on little clips, so they're perfect for adding to your wreath. Some more accessories, we've gone for these little berries. And then to finish off my wreath, I've gone for a lovely bow. And to attach all of these things to your wreath, you will need some floristry wire and some snips. So let's get started. The first step in creating the gorgeous Christmas wreath is to fluff it. So this is where I'm just taking each branch and separating it from the rest of the branches. It's to give it a really full look, and I'm aiming to create a starburst shape when I do so, without fluffing too many stems towards the middle, because otherwise I lose the circular shape. So I'm just going around my whole wreath and separating all the branches like so. Now it's time to add lights to our wreath to make it glow and stand out. So I've gone for some battery operated copper wire lights. I've gone for these because you can't really see them in the wreath once you've wound them in, because the wire is so thin. So I'm just taking them out of the box, adding in the batteries, and then I'm going to wind it round my wreath. I always think the more lights the better, so I am winding them in a zigzag pattern around my wreath, hooking it onto the outside branch and then moving it across to the inside branch and hooking it on there. This can be a bit fiddly, but it's definitely worth it when you're done. And once you've come to the end of your light, you can then tuck the battery pack into the back of the wreath. Now it's time to start filling out our wreath using some floristry, and this is when you'll also need your floristry wire and snips to attach it. So I am just taking these faux fern leaves to begin with. These are in a gorgeous dusty pink colour, and I am snipping them off into smaller sections so that I can poke them into my wreath. Now, if it's got a longer stem and you poke it into your wreath and it feels quite secure, then it should be okay like that. But if it's a bit wobbly, I would add some floristry wire and twist it in to the frame of your wreath to secure it. Now, I'm just adding these at random around my wreath, and they're great because they add a different texture to the foliage that's in the wreath. But it's just about experimenting, so keep standing back and looking at your wreath and then adding them where you think needs it. Next up, I am going to add the bow. Now, a lot of people would add this last, but I like to add it at this stage because I know where the centre of my wreath's going to be, and I'll sort of base all of my accessories and other decorations around the centre. So these bows come with some wire already attached on the back, so all I have to do is take it off the packaging, pick where I want it. Of course, you don't have to have it in the centre, but I think it's a nice finishing touch when it's in the centre of your wreath on your front door. So I'm choosing where I want my wreath and then I'm wiring it into the branches. Now it's time to add some accessories, and I'm starting off with these bigger blousy flowers because these are going to be more of a statement in my wreath, and then I can add the smaller accessories where there's gaps left over. So these flowers are great, and they at first come all folded up and it's your job to fluff them. So you can move all the petals around because they are on wire, and once you've fluffed them how you'd like them, then they come on little crocodile clips. that you can push into your wreath and clip onto one of the branches. So they're nice and secure, and I'm going to add a couple of these around my wreath. These make for great fillers, and I've gone for a mix of apricot, dusky pink and peach coloured flowers. Once you've clipped them into your wreath securely, you can then do an extra bit of fluffing to make sure that they're sitting exactly where you like them. Now that I've added some of the bigger, blousier decorations to my wreath, I'm going to add a bit more floristry to accent it. So I'm using these gorgeous flowers, and again I'm snipping them down to a more smaller, manageable size, and then I'm poking them into my wreath. Time to add some baubles now, and for a good bit of impact I like to add mine in clusters of either 2 or 3. So I've taken the baubles that I'd like out of the multi-pack, and I've trimmed off the ties that already come on the bauble so that I can thread. Here I've got a trio, I can thread 3 baubles onto a bit of floristry wire, and then I'm going to give a twist a couple of times so they don't move and make it fiddly while I'm trying to attach them to the wreath. So now I need to put them onto my wreath, and again I'm just going to find the branch that I want to attach them to and give the floristry wire a good twist around it. Then I'm just going to repeat that with different shapes, sizes and colours of baubles around my wreath until I think it looks nice and full. It's time to add the finishing touches now, and these bunches of little berries are perfect for filling in any gaps. So I've got 2 different colours. I've got some champagne coloured berries and some light pink berries. So I'm just adding these into my wreath wherever I think there's a bit of a gap and it needs a bit of sparkle. So I'm fluffing these because they come all closed up how I want them, and then I'm pushing them into the wreath. Again, if they don't feel very secure, make sure that you use some floristry wire to wire them in so that they don't fall off when they're on your door. And that's my finished wreath. I really recommend that throughout this whole process you keep stepping back and looking at your wreath from afar so you can see where there's any gaps, or you're missing some more colour, or you want to add a bit more festive sparkle. I hope this video gave you some tips and inspiration on how to create your own gorgeous wreath at home. To shop any of the products that you've seen in this video, you can nip into your local British garden centres, or you can shop online on our website. And for more festive content, make sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching everyone, and it's time to bring home the magic. Merry Christmas!